Let's talk about the mental game and how you train for it. Here's the question. Mental game. How in the hell do you train that? Says this guy. Here's the question. How the hell do you train mental game? This is a reaction to my video about my mindset early on in shooting. This guy says, yesterday I squatted with 2 GMs and 3 masters. As a B-class shooter, I pulled a 97% GM classifier. I'm pretty sure it was because I was around good people that were constantly in match mode. I noticed that what they were doing to try to stay in the game instead of BSing with my range friends. Very interesting results. Yes, that is true. The environment around you is going to have a big effect on what you do, whether or not you want to acknowledge that about yourself. But let's get to the topic. How do we train mental game? So what I like to say to people is you're training your mental game all the time, whether or not you realize it. So the habits and ideas that you're feeding into your head, the habits that you have when you're training, your mindset when you approach training, that is going to become your mindset. Those habits are going to become permanent. That way of thinking is going to get ingrained in your head, whether or not you want it to. Mental game's not something you need to really specifically train. It's something you're training all the time, even when you don't realize it. Let me give you an example. So I say I go to the range, I set up a USPSA classifier that I want to practice on it, shoot it a little bit. So, I go up there, I kind of warming up. I just strap my gun on and just shoot the classifier once. Maybe I read the directions. I just know what I have to do on it and I shoot it. Let's say the score is low. It's down here. And then I shoot more and more and more. Again, I'm not really paying attention to specific things. I'm just oriented on what the result is. I get comfortable. I get warmed up. And then I start to shoot scores that I like. The scores go up here over the course of the practice session. Now, what I'm doing here is building this mentality, this mindset that I'm going to, shoot it. I'm going to warm up. This is not conscious. This is just what I'm doing. I'm just going to warm up into it. And then eventually I start getting the results I want. And then what a lot of people do at this point is they start thinking in terms of, hey, that's result is what I should be able to do. And they're not paying attention to how they produce the result. It was, you went to the range and set up a thing and warmed up on it, shot it a bunch. We were result oriented, not process oriented. And then you eventually got the results you wanted. And then in your brain, that is now how good you are. Okay. That is a way of training your mindset. Okay. Instead, what I would tell you to do and what I do, I'd go out, set up that classifier. Okay. Then I'm not going to dry fire on the classifier. I'd go to the side berm and I dry fire warm up just like I would at a match, like build up the index. Okay. Good. Now I'm going to mentally rehearse the classifier, put my head down, like what is this going to look like and feel like in terms of the confirmation and the visual cues I'm looking for. So like look at a spot on the target, look the reload in, spot, whatever it is. That's what I have to do. I'm going through this process in my head. Okay. I don't fire a single round out of my pistol. I don't check the zero. I don't nothing. My cold rounds are going to be the first rounds I shoot on that classifier. Okay. Then I go over there, mentally prepare myself, and I think about it. Like in my brain, this is real. This is the first run, the first stage at nationals. That's what this is. And then I shoot the classifier. And I'm hoping that I can build some of that stress that I'm going to feel in a match. I'm trying to make it real. Now, in both of those scenarios that I described, I'm going out to the range and I'm doing training. Okay. But the way that I approach it is dramatically going to alter my mindset. It's going to dramatically alter like the shooter product that comes out at the other end. Now, what a lot of people don't understand and probably they don't understand it, so they can't talk about it, but it's not really about technical skill. Like winning USPSA nationals isn't as much about technical skill as it is about that mental ability to stay consistent, like I'm talking about. There's very few people are going to win a USPSA nationals in their lives. Very few. Even fewer are going to go repeatedly win them. Okay. That requires a certain thing from you mentally in order to make that happen. And you train your mindset on the range, whether or not you know you're doing it. The best advice I can give you is to become conscious of this fact. It's like when people want to get healthy and they start paying attention to everything they're eating, it's like, okay, well, if you're training to be really good at shooting, pay attention to everything you're putting into your brain, because it's going to have an effect on you. Pay attention to the processes that you follow when you're training. It's going to have an effect on you. Questions, comments, put them down below.